Add a title. Why do I need a title? Oh, what else do I need to add?
Are we streaming? Because you started recording.
I'm trying to hit the button, but it's grayed out. Oh, here we go.
Now it says live. Okay.
We are live. You can talk to Shani anytime. It doesn't matter day or night. Shani, giving you light and love. We're coming on without a doubt. There's nothing you can't talk about. Shani, get ready to start the show. You're with Shani and you know we're gonna talk. Ordinary people and extraordinary God. Check the reference in Ephesians 5. We walking in the light and we're living in love. You know with Shani we gon' keep it intact. Cause every Monday got it coming. Yeah, we coming right back. So act like you know we get it on and poppin' at the Shani Show. You can talk to Shani anytime. It doesn't matter day or night. Shani, we're giving you light and love. We're coming on without a doubt. There's nothing you can talk about with Shani. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is Shani McWayne. I am the host of the Sharing with Shani Show. This is a new format that we are doing. So bear with us if there's any technical difficulties. I have my co-host here, Mika Fresh. How you doing, Mika?
All right. I can do that. People can see it, right?
So the Sharing with Shani Show highlights ordinary people working for an extraordinary God, sharing love, light, and life. We air every Monday night at 8 p.m. And from now on, we'll be right here. And the replays will be uploaded on YouTube. And so we're just trying a different format and seeing if we can reach a broader audience to share love, light, and life, okay? Highlighting ordinary people working for extraordinary God. So we need guests. You can be a guest. You don't have to have a lot of media. This is an opportunity for people to share their stories, to share love. That's like, I'm gonna break it down. Share love. So you got a love story. Share life. You got like a story of life happens, right? And you want to share that. You want to share light. You want to be light to the world. So you want to give wisdom. That's in my head what I'm thinking about, right? Those are broad topics. So you can do whatever it is that you are doing in your little community that brings love, light, and life to the world. And that's how you get on the show. You don't have to have written a book. You don't have to have a college degree. You just have to share love, light, and life. And so we started this radio show. It was a radio show. And then it was like a YouTube channel. And then it was back to a radio show. And so now it's Facebook Live, using all, trying to use all media mediums. We started January 1st of 2016, and we've been going strong ever since. And Mika Fresh, our wellness whisperer, has been with me ever since. And so, Mika, thank you so much for going through the ebbs and flows of this show. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into it?
Okay. So I am a psychotherapist and, excuse me, business owner, wife, mom, and doctoral student. So got my hands in a lot of things. I specialize in women's emotional healing and identity development. I am a strong advocate for avocation, self-avocation. And in order to be able to advocate for yourself, you have to know what you need. You have to know what your needs are, and in order to be able to ask for them. And so I help people identify what their needs are. And as we grow and develop, those needs change. From Newark, New Jersey, I don't know, you want the whole bio? Like,
yes.
I am a poet, I'm an author, I'm a rapper. A lot of people don't know that side of me, but I'm so hip hop, y'all don't even know. Okay, I heard my accent come out. So I like I like all things, fine arts and humanities. I love learning. I am a lover of learning, a lover of life. And I love my Black people. And that's me.
Awesome. So let's get right into it. I know we struggled and we went back and forth on to how would we start this show tonight, being with the state of everything going on, right? Like how do we be our authentic selves during this I'm gonna call it a state of emergency, because that's exactly what it is, right? And so I guess we'll just put it out there first. Like maybe we'll start with where we're trying to get to. So let's start with the wellness whisper for tonight and then build upon that.
Okay. So there is a lot going on right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We are now going headfirst into a state of unrest. The angst has built, right? It's not building, it's been built, and it's releasing, right? It's all the compartmentalizing, something we talked about before, right? We compartmentalize and those compartments start to bust open, and that's what's happening. And so that's my opinion of what's happening. That's how I see it. We as the African American race, we as, people of the diaspora, have compartmentalized racism, mistreatment, injustice, just so much. And there's nowhere else for it to go, because no one wants us to process it. They want us to keep pushing it into other little boxes. Well, we've reached capacity.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel is happening. And so in the middle of all of that, and we all, all of us go through this, on an internal level, right? It's not always about riots and race and killings and things like that, this is something that we battle internally as well. And so I would really encourage our followers, our listeners, our watchers, and tell somebody to tune in. Tune into what your body is telling you, because it's telling you something, it's communicating with you somehow. We need to really be like in tune with our physical symptoms. A lot of us are experiencing headaches, we're experiencing tension, we're experiencing, stomach aches. What do you call it? Like our muscles are tight, our hands are clenched, we can't, arms are crossed. It's hard to relax right now. It really is. It's very hard to relax. If you like my grandmother, and I have it too, we rock our feet. You just see our little feet just tapping. My dad used to always say we're doing some calf exercises. But I was a whole grown up when I realized that I did that, and then started paying attention to when it was coming up, So really paying attention, staying hydrated, eat, right? You can't, right? You cannot, listen, hello. You have to, I mentioned earlier, I said the avocation part of it, you cannot ask for anything if you don't know what you need. Well, you could, but how helpful is that, right?
Right.
So know what your needs are. And it's okay that we don't always know what specific needs we have, right? Even the most in tune person, sometimes there's just a feeling, you're like, I don't know, but it's something is missing, something is required, that's not currently there, and that's okay. That's kind of my role as a therapist, to help you identify what those needs are. If you don't have a therapist, find yourself a good friend, an advocate for you, someone that knows you well, someone that is objective. And if that person is unavailable, then be that person for yourself. And don't feel any type of way because you have to be that person for yourself. It is okay. But the process of understanding what your needs are really does start with paying attention to yourself, because you have to get familiar with what your body says to you and how it speaks to you, because all of our bodies speak to us. So with everything that's happening right now, and Shani, we said it's a lot, right? It is a lot. It's a whole lot. We have, protests going on. We have rioting in some places. We have, and that's in the physical, people that are out there doing it. And then you have people that are behind the lines supporting in some other way, whether it's raising money, whether it's, sharing a message, whether it's speaking the way that we're speaking, whatever it is. I feel like as a whole, there is a unification within our people right now, trying to get a message out there. And so you're asking for something, you're requesting something, you're commanding something, and it is going to be important that you take care of yourself so that you can receive it.
Right.
If I'm asking for a raise at work and then I just kind of fall out the next day, I can't even enjoy that raise. I cannot see the fruits of my request. So I do believe that it is important that even now more than ever, because while all of this is going on, people are putting their lives on the line in more ways than one. It's not only about, possible police brutality, possible losing their lives, just from protesting. COVID-19 is still an issue, right?
Yeah.
So it's a double whammy right now.
I have been struggling with the fact that we are still in a global pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I fundamentally agree with people using their First Amendment right? But it's not a either or option for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a and.
Yeah.
It's because either both are killing us at a faster rate than any other race, right? Yes. Institutional racism is killing us at a faster rate than any other race. And then COVID-19 is disproportionately killing us at a faster rate.
Yeah.
And so you have people saying, look, either way.
Right. That's a really sad reality too.
That's a really sad reality. We got to sit in that. Before we came on live, I was just talking about, this is a faith-based show. It's in the title, working for an extraordinary God. We are both believers. And I just feel like, too often we are as faith believers and people of the faith, people want us to just like go straight to prayer. And I'm just kind of like, praying is really good. It's a spiritual practice that we all do, right? I pray every day. I pray more than one time a day. But prayer without action is nothing. Right? And so so when we pray, there is a response, right? And I'm just fascinated that are we not listening to what the response is, right? Like there's a disconnect.
Well,
because we're praying for the
tuning in.
Oh my goodness, going back to the whisper. Say it again, Mika.
We're not tuning in.
We're not tuning in. Yeah.
It's something that we don't even really, we're so accustomed to verbalizing, right? Like you said, practicing your rights, speaking up for ourselves, right? We get those prompts, right? Say it out loud. Say what you need to say. Say what you mean. Ask for what you want. But I feel, there is always a flip side to everything, right? It's a, I guess, a condition statement. I'm not really sure if that's what I want to say right now, but that's what came out. But it is, when you ask for something, that's not the end of it, right? It's a whole process of asking. And the part of that process is what? Like listening for a response, first of all, waiting for a response, listening for that response. Now, when we're communicating, with the creator, I feel like that process looks or may feel a little bit different. Shani, if I call you and I ask you for something, I know that I'm going to hear your answer, right? It's going to be in my ear. It's going to be loud. Like I can recognize it because that's on, the physical level.
Right.
But when we're talking about on the spiritual level, a lot of us are not in tune with our spirit. We just are not. We spend a lot of time feeding our flesh. I'm just going to put it out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really do. I am a firm believer of the body is the temple, but a lot of us, that's a cliche to us and we don't really understand what that means. And so I would say like over the last, my math ain't that good. So since January, I've really been listening into, not listening, I should say studying what a temple really is, the sanctity of it, right? The holiness of it, the cleanliness of it, what it means, what the purpose of it is. And so if I truly believe that my body is a temple, that meant I had a whole lot of changes to make. But I had to be in tune. So I had to get in line with it. And so when I say a lot of us spend time, feeding our flesh, we do. We exercise, we do yoga, we eat what we want to eat, what feels good. So this is a good or a bad thing, right? We could be doing good things for our flesh or bad things for our flesh. But a lot of us have not really spent the same amount of time feeding our spirit. And so if you are going to a spiritual being and communicating spiritually, then that answer comes spiritually and it will manifest in other ways later.
Absolutely.
However, if you miss that spiritual communication, you're not going to see the manifest either.
Right. I want to give a shout out to those that are on the live. And if this is a new format, and I know you're supposed to like shout out people that are watching you, because that people love to hear their name.
Oh, is that the protocol?
I think so. Like,
okay.
So I know a few people had commented, and then we're going to give a shout out to Donna, who's going to try to keep that up for us. But thank you for listening, Edwin. I see Nicole just joined. Angie Positive Keys, she was a special guest a while back. Heather from New York. Marazi Mar, I think that's somebody's sister. So let me hi Nicole, and then like best friends are joining. So thank you for the love. I think it's so important for us to remember that our body is our temple. And it's so funny. So that's a great segue, because I started walking today.
Okay.
Now I walk, but I start so me and my sister-in-law met at the park. We did a mile, 1.8 miles, right? Mm-hmm. We're ending our walk, and this lady is like screaming from her car, but we can't hear her, right?
Okay.
And I was like, and there's nobody else around. Like, we're the only two people there. So I was like, well, first of all, y'all see, I can't see, right? I can hear very well, but I cannot see. And I was like, I don't know her. And she's so... She gets out the car and she's like, hey, do y'all come to the park every day? Do y'all walk every day? So, girl, we started a walking club.
Okay.
So she gave me her card and everything. And so she is meeting us on Wednesday.
Okay.
To walk, because she didn't want to walk alone. And it just reminds me of how we are not made to be alone, right?
Our nervous system isn't even designed to be alone.
And so while we are in this social distancing, isolation, right? And a lot of people were saying, practicing social distancing doesn't mean that you have to be isolated, but there are a lot of people that are. There are a lot of people that live alone. They are single. They don't have children. They don't have significant others.
Yeah.
And they are alone.
Yeah.
And missing that human contact is a lot, right? And I can go in, you're the I always get this wrong. You are the therapist. Yes. You have the background in that, but we could talk about, how the protests got out of control, but also that's on top of a pandemic, right? So all of that is building up. That's a buildup, a manifestation of, right? But I was so excited to just like on the fly say, yeah, we'll be back here at 7:30. So now this stranger is holding me accountable, right?
Okay.
Like, she's holding me accountable because, but it really, this was probably the most productive Monday I've had since quarantine, because I got up. My oxygen level, I was, my hips, I'm trying to figure out why my hips was hurting right before mile 1. Like, what is really going on? But it was all necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need some hip openers. when you sit a lot, so this is something that I learned from my massage therapist. My masseuse is a female, right? And masseur is a male. Yeah, I just learned that a couple years ago too. But I don't know if she's watching. She's in Hawaii, so there's a huge time difference. But my homie Yaya, I'm trying to tell y'all, this is like the best massage I ever had in my life. She after the massage, she stretched me and she said, your sacrum is tight. I was like, huh? How'd that happen? Like, I know where it is and what it is, but did not know why she said it was tight. She said, do you do a lot of sitting? And I said, yeah, I work in the office, like I said all day. And she was like, you're gonna wanna stand up. You're gonna wanna work that out. You're gonna start having some spine issues, and a couple other different things. But what I did notice, so that was like when I was finishing up my master's program and excuse me, and I was in an office setting. And then after, when I was working in a community, I was doing a lot of walking and movement and stuff like that. But I do make it a point to get up. So my new job, right, is I work from home. And not only do I work from home, I also have a really bad habit of sitting on my bed, like working from my bed, which is awful because it does not provide, the support needed for your spine and and your hips as well. So tight hips, can, some people think it's not a big deal, but it actually is. It can go to spinal problems. So do some stretching, keep your walking, even when you're at home, get up and work that out a little bit. But so that was a good segue. All right.
So,
body is a temple, right?
The body is a temple. We're live. This is our new format now. We're no longer Blog Talk Radio because content moves fast. Everybody likes to see you. We are in the age of video. Had to get my hair done for this.
I put on makeup.
Had to do my eyebrows for this. Like, it's
right.
it's really serious. But what would you like us to talk about? So this platform has never been about me. It's about sharing love, light, and life. It's about highlighting ordinary people. If you want to be a guest on the show, please go to the website. Donna's going to drop that in the comment section, ShaniMcElwain.com. But like, what would you like us to discuss? We have about 30 minutes left, and so the whisper for today is tune in, and that's TUNE.
TUNE, right? Tune in, pay attention, right? We're gonna drop all the synonyms. No, it's important that we tune in, so for the new listeners, I'm gonna recap that for you. It is important that we tune into what our bodies are communicating to us. And what I notice is that a lot of people don't even recognize that their bodies communicate with them. I believe that the Creator gave us, first of all, He created, right, like perfection, so to speak, right? Our body is a system. And without, being all nerdish on y'all, is a system. And what a system is, everything has to work together for that system to be working. So if you think about your HVAC system, that means there's more than one piece, right? There's more than one part, but all the parts need to be in sync. They need to be in good operation for your system to work. So this is what I learned last year. I bought a lemon. We bought our house 12 years ago, right? At the bursting of the real estate bubble. Got a real good deal on it. Piece of crap though. I'm grateful, but it's a piece of crap. Everything was wrong with it. And it's like, so we upgraded our HVAC system, and like 2 years later, we had to do, so what was it, an $8,000 piece of equipment 2 years later needed a $1,500 repair. Somebody please explain why and how. It wasn't covered, right? Because they got us. Whole long story. I'm not going to go there. I look cute today, so I'm not going to go there. But this is what I learned. With your HVAC system, you have an outdoor unit and you have an indoor unit. And in that indoor unit, there's about 4 major components to that indoor unit, where if one of them is not working, the whole thing, like you get no cold air from it, right? Same thing on the heating side. There are 3 or 4 major components. If one has a problem, you will get no heat. Now, the air still blows, but it just blows. It's not cold air, it's not hot air, it's just air. So when I started to learn about what knocks those systems out of sync, you know, the pieces out of sync and why the system begins to not work, I started to learn a lot. Now, y'all know I like analogies. So what we were discussing, you know, when people ask you, oh, how's the house? Oh, I don't know. People ask me, how's the house? What's going on? Especially like last summer, because we were in, I want to say like August, when the air kind of stopped working, you know, when we could feel that it was no longer getting cold. And so, you know, you share that with some people and they kind of check in with you a little bit. And so, when the winter came, like right before the winter, I remember my mom asking me like, oh, so did your air hold up? We got somebody out here to give us a coolant refill, but that was a temporary fix. So there's a leak, and there's a leak that could not be found. It could not figure out where the leak was coming from. This gonna bless somebody if y'all listening now. There's a leak in one of the components, okay? They couldn't find it, but we knew something was wrong because the air was not getting cold. So when my Black-owned business HVAC guy came out here, nice plug, right? When he came out, he asked me a bunch of questions. So he did an assessment, and I answered them to the best of my ability. And then he had to put his hands on it, right? So he had to start unscrewing some things, taking a look at it. And he said, aside from yanking out this whole unit here on the inside, I can't tell you where this leak is coming from, but I know there is a link because this is what's happening. And he started to list off all these symptoms, right? You got your air is blowing, but it doesn't get cold. It also was not blowing out hot air. So I know it's not this problem, and it could be that. So now we have a list going on here. Long story short, couple more tests. Okay, we found where the leak is coming from, but we can't get to it. I said, how do you know that? They had to put they did I think a sniffer test, he called it, or something like that. So it got even more intense. So we're having this conversation, and it really did. It hit me. He started to ask more questions. Like, basically it was, if you were paying attention, the trained eye would have known that this is what was happening, right? Like, you could have saw it coming. And maybe we could have prevented it, maybe not, but you would not be confused right now, right? We would have known, that piece is malfunctioning. And I said, okay, so what are some things that I need to pay attention to, right? Because if I'm going to spend thousands of dollars to repair this or replace this, I want to make sure this does not happen again. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have $8,000 just laying around.
Right.
But I need to be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Okay. So I have to invest. All right. It's the same thing when it comes to our bodies. Our bodies are symptomatic. They're giving us signs. It's showing symptoms, and we're not paying attention. And most of it is because we are used to functioning with these symptoms. We're used to functioning with these symptoms. So as a person, when I was a kid, I was in a bad car accident. I've dealt with lower back pain for all of my adult life since I was about 11 years old. All right. When I did some training for my licensure, Sandtray, when I did my Sandtray training for my degree, I remember the therapist asking me, like, how you feeling? And our knee-jerk, answer is, I'm all right. Especially me, I'm good. He said, well, what's good about it? And he wanted like specific answers, But as we got into it, he started asking me what I feel in different areas of my body. He said, why are you sitting like that? That's what it was. He pointed it out. He said, why are you sitting like that? I said, the chair is not comfortable. How do you know it's not comfortable? I said, well, my back hurts. He's like, really? Do you want a different chair? And no, because my back kind of always hurts. And he said, but you just told me you were fine. Well, because I am. He was like, are you? Your back hurts. And you just told me your back hurts most of the time.
But
and
you're
I
fine.
sat, but I'm fine. And
right.
I sat quietly and I thought about that for a moment. And then I started thinking about, well, what else hurts?
Right.
What else ain't right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else is not working properly?
Right.
And I had a headache. That was a detox headache though. But I had a headache and I realized that I was tired. I hadn't been sleeping well because it was final exam time and I had this intense, 32-hour training and whatnot. It was a whole lot going on and my body was giving me symptoms that I was kind of overlooking. No symptoms, just because we can function with them, just because we don't notice them does not mean there is no problem.
Absolutely.
When you overlook those symptoms, I feel like you're asking for trouble. You really are. So those individuals that know something is wrong, but they don't want to go to the doctor because they're afraid of what the doctor is going to tell them. I feel like you have two options. I am not the one that can tell you to run to the doctor. And on record, I'm also not the one to tell you not to go to the doctor. I have my own ways of healing my body. However, if I feel a lump somewhere, I'm probably going to go get that checked out. Okay?
Right.
I don't want to just fall out in the middle of somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't get to prepare my family. I didn't get to settle whatever I needed to settle, whatever it is. But that's why it's important that we tune in. And so when we're talking about protesters, we're talking about activism right now, and activism comes in many different forms. I was itching. I was scratching a little bit earlier, and my friend was teasing me. She was like, "You itching to get out there, ain't you?" And I said, "It's in my DNA. It really is in my DNA." I've shared before. I am the granddaughter of a Black Panther.
Right.
I am the daughter of a very strong Muslim. And my dad. Listen.
Did I ever tell you that my mother and her friend went looking for Angela Davis when she was on the run? Like,
no.
So, active, like, I remember,
it's there.
I remember my mother, standing out there signing petitions for women reproductive rights and promoting women's health. Mm-hmm. And because they were trying to block a Planned Parenthood that wasn't even doing abortions, right? They weren't, but just the idea that they could be, but they weren't, just because it was, and her view was, it was healthy, adequate health care for women, for low income women. And that's what, that was her position. And I remember being like 10, 11, her, being an advocate. So when she told me about her getting in a daggone Ford Pinto, maybe it wasn't a Ford Pinto, but it was some old car trying to go find Angela Davis. I'm like, for real?
For real. She was for real.
She was for real, right?
It was important. It is. I mean, those things are important. I feel like there are things that speak to our soul, right? There are things that move my soul. I'm gonna make this personal. There are things that move my soul. There are things that cause me some serious spiritual unrest. Okay, and we are privileged, right? We're privileged to be able to choose what we will and will not do. Our ancestors weren't that privileged. And I don't take that lightly. I don't, take that for granted. And so I think we were off the record, offline at that point, but, activism comes in many different forms. You can be on the front lines protesting in person. You can be the one behind the scenes, making the phone calls, raising the money, getting the word out there, feeding the people, right? Healing comes in a lot of different forms. I'm a healer in a lot of different ways, and I know that, and I own that. And it's a part of me, though. I feel like the creator put that in me. And so when I cannot heal, I hurt. And so, whether it's passing out food, passing out, hydration, making sure people are okay, just being a listening ear, praying for somebody, right? Letting them know that they have support, that they have a support system. There's that word, a support system, which means it's moving pieces, more than one piece there for that individual. This is a major thing. Okay. This, like I said, this is angst. We have reached capacity. Those compartments have opened.
Yeah.
No, there's no room for any more boxes. We can't stuff no more boxes, right?
Yep.
It's coming out. We're upset. We're being ignored. We're being overlooked. We're being mistreated. And we're still showing up to our Zoom meetings with our white counterparts who are not mentioning anything because they don't want to stir the pot. We're still keeping a smile on our face while we swallow rage. We're still showing up polite,
every day, right,
and professional and loving. We're doing all of that. Yeah, I got you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we're hurting on the inside. So we got to tune in.
We have to tune in. I would rather, and a lot of times, our white siblings do not know what to say, right? And I would say,
don't go there. Don't go there. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm, right? I'm listening. Yes.
But I would say, I would rather you say that than not say anything.
You would rather them say, I don't know what to say?
Yes, than to not say anything. Because the silence has to stop. You can't not say anything. Like, what, this has to make you want to say something.
Okay, I like that part of it. I was like, I need more, Shani.
Right? So for you to say, I just don't know what to say is so much better than saying nothing.
Yeah, I think when you said that, I started thinking about like when someone loses a loved one, it's awkward for people.
Yes.
Me personally, I don't know why, right? I don't know in that situation why you wouldn't know what to say, because I think that we all have either lost someone or know someone that has. So that kind of always stumps me, right?
Well, I think it's, I don't want to cut you off, but you know what it is? Because I've lost a child. And when you lose, it depends on like the age, because I felt people were very awkward with not knowing what to say. Because I lost a child. I'll tell you what not to say. Don't tell to a mother or anybody. I'm not even going to put it like child. It was God's plan. Don't say that.
Yeah.
Do not say, listen, I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. We all have our triggers. And
yes.
So I am tapping into my human self and saying that, as bothered as I am when people say, I don't know what to say, right?
Right.
Because I'm transparent and I am able and will speak up for myself and speak out on things that I don't agree with. And I've been like that, probably since I could talk. Tracy will tell you. But I think for me, because I do have a curious mind, but I'm also what I said, right? A healer. I think that for me it's second nature, if not first nature, to want to tap into the emotions of another person. I'm very empathic, and I can feel when something's just not right. It is a gift. So I think for me, communication is not always words either. All right. It's important that we understand that. So I would say, how are people communicating right now? If you are not communicating at all, then yes, that is problematic. And we do have people that, oh, I don't want to, they want to take that neutral stance. I'm not here for that either. Neutrality is a side. You've picked your side, right? You cannot be neutral in a time like this. So
Right.
if that's your choice, then understand what comes along with that choice. Okay.
Yeah,
So
this
when
not
you say,
Switzerland.
so when you say,
we're not, this not Switzerland.
right,
I'm like,
it cannot be a Switzerland situation.
It can't. It just can't.
No. So when you say, I'd rather them say, well, I don't know what to say, right? Versus say nothing at all. I think I'm agreeing with you. Right?
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm not annoyed,
right? Because
but I am agreeing with you.
and I, I do a lot of work, a lot of anti-racism work and allyship training, and so I do these, and it's all about moving the dial, right?
Right.
And if I can go from someone being basically silent to I don't know what to say, followed by, but I'm willing to learn.
Okay. So we got more words. Okay.
Listen, right?
I'm on board.
Right.
Yes.
And then, and it's okay, Shani, if you're not teaching me right now, I'll go look for it myself. Cause I know you're not on on Facebook. So I gotta tell you how this has been the longest 8 days of my life. So you saw that. And so you saw that reckless. You saw the recklessness. Recklessness.
I did. I saw it. I knew you were going there. Yeah.
Because maybe she's listening now. She said she's been following me for 3 years. Listen. You can't do that.
No. So, well, I feel like that was a poke. That was an intentional poke. I really do.
Yes.
That's just my opinion. I don't feel like that question
that's
came to you in the purest of forms anyway. It was a poke, right? People get petty and they poke the bear.
Yeah.
But what I think is important for communication is for individuals to be open. All right. Empathy. It really does. It comes back down to empathy.
It does.
Probably some common sense too, but emotional intelligence.
Oh, preach, Mika.
Emotional intelligence. It is very important, and a lot of us don't have it. Or, our emotional IQ is probably not that high, but it's not because of, an intellectual problem. It's an internal thing, right? It's usually because we're selfish. It's usually because we're privileged, and privilege comes in many forms. All right. However, that is usually what's at the base of it. And I feel like if you're asking for communication, you got to be open.
Right.
Both parties or all parties involved.
Right.
Has to be open. I cannot communicate with you if you're closed. And that goes both ways. Now, within that, and you know me, I'm a communicator. I have thick skin. If we can talk about any relationship right now, if you come to me and you tell me something about myself, I'm going to listen to it.
Right.
I'm going to be open. Doesn't mean that I don't have feelings about what you said. I might be irritated, right? I might disagree. I might be like, you full of crap, but I'm listening and I'm open, so I'm going to be okay. And I'm also going to really do my best to figure out how we can work this out. And so what I'm saying that to say, when we start talking about race, all right, when we start talking about justice and what is or isn't fair, this is the base of an argument. Now, argument is healthy. People don't understand that, okay? All right, we're on the same page. We can argue. I think two grown, mature people can have a good old argument and never lose love for each other.
Yes.
let us have this debate. Let's talk. Let's listen. Let's be open. That has to happen first, right? Now, if I'm afraid to talk to you, if I feel like you're going to chop my head off, then I can never have an open conversation.
Right.
So when I say to people, I'm an open book and I'm transparent, I really do mean that. I know what my triggers are. I also am very in tune with my body. So I know when today just ain't a good day for that. And I'm going to let you know that too.
Look,
and that's okay.
I was tuned in that day. I was like, no.
Right. It cannot happen today. This cannot happen today.
Not
but
today.
That's a part of that emotional intelligence thing too. So like, are you sending me this message because you really do want to know how you can help in this particular situation? Or are you sending me this message to be petty? Right? Why do you now have curiosity about what's going on? And I am not the fixer of all things.
No. Okay.
So are you asking me for a conversation? Like, are you really confused at what happened at the bird watching park that day? Are you? You really don't know what happened? Right. And if you truly don't know what happened or why it was wrong, I don't know. It's probably going to be something in your tone that's going to convince me you really don't know.
Right.
All right. And we can feel that sincerity from people. There have been times that I've been approached and I'm like, oh, poor thing. She really doesn't have a clue. Right. Okay. Let's have a conversation. But my defense is not going to be up because I feel the sincerity. If I don't feel that, I'm probably going to be on guard because first of all, you're talking to a lot of minority right here. I'm a Black woman in this country. Right. So I'm already like, but okay. Why don't you know? And this is me as a person. This is how I process. What you've been doing in America that you don't know, this is an issue.
Right. I feel like in 2020, there's no way that you can't be living under a box. This is 2020.
We got people in Britain protesting with us. So It ain't even about where you're located. It's about what you choose and don't choose yes.
To educate yourself.
Yes. And so that is where, my irritation comes from. Because again, that's about privilege though. That is about privilege. So you have two kinds of people. You have the person that's aware of their privilege and they're willing to, check it, be aware of it, work with it.
Use it for good.
Yes. Right, there you go. And then you have the people who act like they're not privileged.
I'm not knocking anybody that's sitting up there with privilege. I have a lot of friends that have privilege and power, and they use it for good. And so, absolutely. Yeah. So, this is a Sharing with Shani show. We are live. Like, this is so weird because y'all can see my face. I usually be behind the mic, right? I can go on mute and fuss at people that's making too much noise.
Yeah, now they can read your mouth.
What'd you say?
I said now they can read your mouth.
They can read my mouth. I'm like, okay, so we got a few people that joined since I last checked. Oh, my cousin joined. So shout out to Tony, Erica. I don't know if they're still on, but Ronnie. Hey. She said, hey, Shani. I want them to say, hey, Mika, too. Diane, Heidi, Chris Ann, all the way from Antigua joined. Mika, another Mika. So thank you so much for joining. Glenn, Sarang, some people that I work with in ministry, Spicy. So thank you so much for joining. We are airing every Monday night at 8 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time. We got about 6 minutes left. Mika, how you feeling? Because you don't usually do the whole show with me, so I appreciate you.
It was all right. So how am I doing? Right. I will say I am very good at functioning through feelings. It's Monday. And it was definitely a Monday for the books on my day job. I got 3 jobs. You know how Tachina Arnold would say on Everybody Hates Chris. She said, my man got 2 jobs, right? Like I got 3 jobs. Right. I have a day job. I'm a business owner. two businesses, right? I have a wellness business. I'm a therapist.
Right.
And I own a juice bar. So the juice bar, we kind of on a little hiatus because of this pandemic right now. But on my day job, I'm a care coordinator, which is in the helping field still. And then I'm a therapist for my own practice and a therapist for another practice. And I have to tell you, this whole situation that's happening I've seen a major increase in, you know, the requesting of a new therapist. And so I've taken on new clients, which means that I have taken on other people's emotions. And normally I'm very good at that. I don't take my work home. But what happens when you work from home?
You get distracted.
Well,
when you don't take your work home, but you work from home, there's no
right.
release.
Right.
There's no, yeah.
I'm trying to find a wall to put up. I looked at my daughter the other day. I was like, is it a crime if I did this? Or is it only a crime if I get caught? And I had to pray. I'm so serious. I had to pray. Listen. I've never been so sick of seeing faces that I love. I'm so sorry. I'm like, when you say it out loud, it's just like, ew.
It's so wrong, right? But listen, while I was had a prayer. We had so every Monday right before this call, my church does a 7 p.m. prayer call, right? Yeah. And I remember we were probably like mid-April, mm-hmm. and I didn't have a prayer. No, this was my prayer. My prayer was, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but you know, it is what it is. I was praying for 2 bathrooms. Oh, because because there will be peace and when you have 2 bathrooms, mm-hmm. like that is my prayer. Like one day
making sure people utilize those other bathrooms. So we have 2.5 baths here. Halo has a bathroom in her room. All right. We didn't do that. It's just, you know, perks of living where we live. There was multiple families in here. So she has a bathroom in her room. Then we have a main bathroom. We do not have a master bathroom. So our master bathroom is the bathroom off the hallway. And then we have a full bath in the basement on the lower level. I don't know if it's a basement or not, but on the lower level. And so there are times where they're not all working. You know, maybe this toilet, you had to turn off the water because of whatever. We live in an old house. So I had to firmly express to my husband, please get all these toilets working, like right now, like today. Right. Like, I need you to be in that line at Home Depot at 8 a.m. because they open at 9. It's already a lot of people out there. I know it is because everybody spent their stimulus check fixing up their house. All right. I've never seen that many people at Home Depot. Right. But I need you, whatever these toilets need, I will order 3 new toilets right now. I don't even care. You're going to have to get these bathrooms working, bruh, because I'm tired of the knocks on the door when I'm taking my nice hot bath. I'm ritualistic. My bath is my ritual. This is how I decompress. This is when I open those compartments. This is when I turn the music up. All right, and I'm screaming along with Fred. You know, Fred Hammond, he like to tell you how you should feel, right? Right. What? Okay. Right. That's when I'm going along with Fred, and I'm like, and then I get a knock on the door, and the head peeks through. Mommy, are you almost done?
Right.
I think all the holiness just left.
Right.
If you don't get out of here right now, you know what I'm saying? I need the other bathrooms to work.
I was trying to understand how someone can wake up, they go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Another person would wake up and be mad that someone is in the bathroom like they knew that the other person had to go to the bathroom.
You supposed to know my routine, Shani. What you talking about?
I'm praying
like
for
you my sister, and you have lived with me your whole life. Right. You supposed to know that I wake up at this time and I need to go use the bathroom, because that sure is the attitude I have. I be looking at all of them like, now y'all know daggone well.
Right.
that I'm up at this time and I
Right.
sit there for about 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
That's y'all's time to get in there and do what you need to do.
Right.
When I go in there, please do not knock on the door.
Right.
No, I can't hand you a Q-tip. No, I can't hand you nail clippers. No, I can't hand you a toothbrush.
Right.
All of that should have been taken care of before I got up out of the bed that I've been sitting in for the last 30 minutes waiting for y'all to go to the bathroom. It's disrespectful.
It is on so many levels. Mika, we are at 9:00.
We made it.
We made it. Listen, thank you for coming on. Tell people where
Certainly.
they can follow you, where they can learn more about you, and in these social media streets.
Meet Mika Fresh. MEETMIKA. Do not put an E in my name. MIKA Fresh.
This is the Sharing with Shani Show, highlighting ordinary people working for extraordinary God, sharing love, light, and life. This is our new format right here on Facebook Live. In the chat, I will post. It's Shani McElwain. So my name is right there, ShaniMcElwain.com. Go to the radio show tab. Click on Be a Guest. We're going to be here, all summer. We'll take a break around July or something. But come back with us next Monday. We have an awesome lineup for June. So next Monday, we'll have Dee Bowden, followed by Letitia Nicole, and then we'll end the month out with Yolanda Dothit from all over the country. So tune in.
Tell people again how they can be a guest on the show.
ShaniMcElwain.com. Go to my website. Click on the radio button on the website and just fill out the form. Share love, light, and life.
Just fill it out. That's it.
Thank you. God bless you and peace.
Peace.